Ladies and gentlemen, we move on to our next session, which will spotlight business strategies, contingency plans, and negotiating positions for the media and entertainment sector. And the panelists for this session are trailblazers, shaping business and innovation. And for this, I invite on stage Mr. Vivek Nabisan, Managing Director, Nabisan's Dairy Private Limited, Mr. Ganesh Ram, MD and Chief Executive Officer, MF Utilities, Mr. Shrikant Ramani, Director, SGR 777 Foods Private Limited, Mr. KB Balamurli, COO, Transworld Dubai, UAE, to please join us on stage. And we have Mr. Karthik Sharma, Group CEO, Omnicom Media Group, will be moderating this session. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the second session, and you know how fabulous it has been, so give them a nice big round of applause as we welcome them on stage.
Firstly, Vanakkam, Coimbatore. Thank you for inviting us. Big thanks to Shankar, Bharat, and the entire team for a fabulous South Media Summit. Except last year, every year I've been here, and I'm deeply grateful to him and his team. It's so good to see some old friends and make some new friends in the bargain, and also, more importantly, learn from each other's experience. So thank you, Shankar. I've known Shankar for more than 2.5 decades. I won't call him a media partner. He's like an elder brother to me. So thank you for being a wonderful human being the way you are. And with that, I'm deeply honored to be with some of the best leaders in the country running some fantabulous businesses. So I'm going to ask a couple of questions, and actually in the process learn from all of them. So first is request, check all your mics. Thank you, Mohit, for sticking to time. It's not easy, but I will try my best to stick within the time. So let me kickstart by asking a question which anyone can go and answer. Actually, there's a lot, if you see the crowd here, a mix of very senior people and some youngsters. It's a good crowd. With rapid, digitalization and digital acceleration, how do you see that play out for your respective businesses in terms of, and also heightened consumer expectations? What is your single most important priority as a leader, and how are you aligning your respective organizations to deliver on the expectations? Anyone can start and then build on each other.
Yeah. Hi, Karthik. Thank you for that question. So I think, jumping into your question, I think you just need to be relevant at this point of time. And, to be relevant, you need to embrace change. Right. So I was also attending a leadership program by the LMI Institute. And I was actually fascinated by one of their bylines, which said, challenge to change and changed to challenge. Right. So I think I would just want to go by that. And to answer your second question on how do you align yourself, your organization for this, I think in one word, I think it's just going to be how it's preparation, right? And how well you're going to prepare your organization. Because I believe that, the will to succeed is important, but the will to prepare is vital. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Can I?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. As we all know, that change and disruption is here to stay. We have to embrace it. I would like to quote our chairman, Mr. Ramesh. In Transworld, he always tells us that what has got you here will not get you there. And past glories cannot guarantee future success. So we follow something called a 3LC principle, which is basically life cycle management. So there is a product life cycle, there is a process life cycle, and there is a people life cycle. So if you draw a parallels from the industry, we have seen cases of market leaders in the mobile industry who were wiped overnight when the touch phones came because they were not agile and nimble enough to look at the reality hitting them. In terms of the process, when is the last time we have gone to a bank? ATMs, from physical tokens to draw cash to ATMs, now it's all online. We don't even handle cash. So the process keeps changing. And third most important element is the people, because people are the fundamental for any enterprise. And people your own employees and the customers. We have to evolve. People have to adapt themselves to the growing realities. We can't stick with fixed mindsets that, I will still work on paper. Technology is evolving very fast. And also in terms of customers, the Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas are the kids who are going to be the customers and employees of tomorrow, who have grown up not on feeding bottles, but on the apps. So that is where the organization, the thought process has to be aligned to the changing times to be relevant. Thank you.
Hi, Karthik. It looks like one of the most relevant topic which you have pitched in, and that's what the previous session was also into. So, see, I belong to a generation where I have seen right from a postcard to all these kind of digital gadgets which are happening as of today. It all depends on what kind of product mix you have and what kind of population mix you have in terms of consumption of the product which you have. So I belong to a community, a company, which handles ethnic packaged food. So in an ethnic packaged food, when the consumer preferences gets changed, yes, digital is happening. So the digitalization part is not a paradigm shift. It's an organic shift, which I'm seeing. And when you see a transformation happening from a pager to a cell phone to a more accessible gadgets where communication is at real time, the change happens right with the population metrics in connection with the product which you handle. So for us, we at 777 Foods, what we handle is engaging the consumers in connection with the product what we have, so that it reaches the last mile of the tier 4 or tier 5 cities or a small villages where we can reach our product. So that's exactly what we focus at from 777.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank you, Karthik. I think I'm little odd man out because I only come from the financial industry, right? So everything happens now and finally the money comes to us for the investment. So I'm kind of quite different.
Or the other way around.
The other way around. Yeah. So then we make little more money and give it to you, right? Yeah, but I think, I represent mutual fund industry in India. I don't think, unless if you are not going to embarrass the technology, investors or the people have a lot of choices. You are going to be the loser. Basically, you need to just quickly move on. Because today, if you look at from an investment point of view, there are so many apps we have and so many technology we have. All you need to put your PAN number and everything is there. Right? So you should be very, very agile. You need to be well prepared for managing technology. Change is anyway part of the game. But technology is something which I don't think, like what others are told, absolutely, from a process, people, from an organization point of view, everything has become digital, even payment. So hardly we see any paper or any cash. So I was just looking at when I was coming from those, people are standing outside of ATM. So I was just wondering when I actually went to ATM. So I don't think it's been, it's been probably after COVID, after that thing we're not done. So I think it's actually going on a very, very disruptive manner. I think it's very much critical for us, not only as a leaders, but also the entire population to kind of adapt to technology. And it's going to be the way forward. So
Wonderful. I think the importance of how digital is all-pervasive and touching various industries is well articulated by all of you. But you also used an interesting word called disruption. And so let me build on that and ask a question on a fairly disruptive world and volatile world from each one of you from your very different set of industries. So first question is to Mr. Vivek. With global volatility impacting commodities, what kind of safeguards are you building to ensure sustained growth for a heritage brand like yours? Do you see growth coming more from regional markets, or are there opportunities outside white spaces, new categories?
So how I look at it is, I go back to the vision of the brand, which says, preserve the integrity of the food as it is meant to be. Now, keeping that vision, right, you really need to, when growth comes, you need to grow. And you're talking about sustainable growth, which means you need to sustain that growth in terms of your quality, in terms of your pricing, in terms of your profitability, and in terms of reaching out to new customers, right? So across the spectrum, you need that. So if I have to really look at it, yes, you need the regional depth to get into the, which is very important for your sustained growth. as well as we are very mindful of getting into the other categories in terms of the health and the food space, the wellness space. So I think it's a combination, and the sustainable growth is what all of us are striving for.
So good. I think you are echoing some of the principles that we have been learning in marketing of growth, coming not from only one sector, and actually you're opening up the market and looking at new categories. I think it's great to know. My next kind of point is to Mr. Ganesh Ram. In the financial services, as you rightly said, markets fluctuate. I was just looking at the markets and slight smile because compared to the week it was, the markets are looking up. At least 5 minutes back, I don't know now what has happened. How do you ensure MF Utilities grows sustainably while maintaining compliance and investor trust? And also, we read a lot of media noise around, SIPs coming down in some months. So it's a tough business, the amount of redemption which happens. So how do you sustainably grow and keep your investor trust also?
Yeah, the better way is don't look at the market, right? So just be happy, and if the moment you're going to go to the market, obviously your BP will go up and all those stuff. So better to, but the one good thing is, I just want to ask the audience, as an industrialist, a lot of people are there. How many people have invested or put your money in mutual fund? Probably this portion is not, that this portion is there.
Just one disclosure, I'm your customer. I use MF Utilities.
No, yeah. So what I'm saying is, I think the better way is to kind of stay invested. SIPs is one of the best. So if you look at India, so it's quite unique. Only 6 to 8% of the household income comes into mutual fund. Whereas in US, if you see, it's around 78%. So there is a huge gap between the Western country and what we have. But I think before COVID, it was not even 1%. Now it has gone to around 8%. I think things are moving on. From a market point of view, I think the beauty of mutual fund is the most transparent product. So I always say, sorry if there are any bankers here. So I always tell people, when you go and invest in a bank, say 10,000, then if you can go and ask the bank manager, where is my 10,000? Can you show me? Absolutely, bank cannot, right? But in the mutual fund, you know where your money is, which fund it has invested, which companies have invested, how the company is doing. It's very transparent. And if you look at the way Indian economy also grown, always if there is a down, now due to the Trump issues, there's a lot of exchanges, there's a Palagam attack happened. So market go down, but immediately it goes up also, right? And particularly with whatever analysis we have, the next 20 years to 30 years, India is going to be a golden period, particularly in the capital market. So I would strongly suggest don't look at the market, keep investing, and things will automatically happen. So
thanks. I don't look at it, but I just wanted to look before I asked you that question. So thank you for that, and it's a great platform for those of you if you have not used MF Utilities. And this is not an endorsement. I do not get paid by them. Let me make all the usual disclaimers in a public forum. Next question is to Mr. Balamurali. How do you prioritize, profitability while managing the, like a dual challenge of rising costs and almost unpredictable global trade flows, particularly in your line of business?
So rising cost, global volatility is every day we face it. So what we actually do is of course, profit is important, but when you prioritize the customers, when you prioritize governance, when you prioritize your brand, profit becomes a natural byproduct. Further dwelling into this, prioritizing customers. So we don't provide logistics services, but logistics solutions. So how does the customer and the customer's customer make profit? When you start thinking from that lens, you naturally become the preferred partner for the customer. From a governance perspective, ESG is something very, very important. Sustainability is the key. The customers, the employees of today and tomorrow, they are very much aware of what kind of product they are buying. I know my kids, they don't go to certain retail chains because the labor practices there are not fair. So this is how the Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas are thinking. And talking about the brand image is most important because it's often the customers or your partners pay a premium if your brand value is really at the peak. So these are three factors which are very important. When you focus on these three, the profit and the growth comes automatically.
Great to know. I think great brands are built on, focusing on the consumer, like you rightly said, and putting them in front and not compromising on quality. Great message for everyone. A question to Mr. Srikanth. Similar to what I asked Mr. Balamurali, with consumers becoming more experimental in the food business, in which inflation has been pinching household budgets. It's an unfortunate reality for most of us here. How do you balance innovation with affordable pricing? And my second part of the question is, how do you see the future growth for your business coming from? Is it more on exports or premiumization of your products, or offering more local offerings to our local market?
So, this question is technically, it is shot to me on a very specific note, I believe. So, I address both the part one by one. So, I take the first part where innovation in terms of the product price per se. So, innovation has to keep on happening. So, for a company like ours, a recipe of a particular product, to be honest, has to be changed because of the palatability. What kind of food and the taste of the food which my seniors, my fathers or my grandfather had, which we have formulated a recipe, being a 70-year-old brand, would not be in today's generation or to the next generation. So it is not only the recipe per se, it involves all the packaging part, the innovation in terms of product offerings which we do, and also the convenience of the product in terms of the utility of the same product which is being handled. So what we do from our company point of view is we ensure that we retain the core functionality of any particular product per se, but we still keep on changing the finer nuances based on towards palatability. Yes, on doing that, what happens is there's a kind of a cost element which involves, but then the scale most of the time takes care of it. The sourcing strength takes care of it most of the time, and therefore big is always beautiful for us. And for the second point of second question, the second part of the question which you pitched in, for us, we are a product mix company. We are not a single product company. So unless and until we are into all the three definitions, we cannot be successful is my point of view, because international business, yes, it has to be there. But thanks to a lot of efforts which is happening, in terms of GST, which helps us a lot, because the product cost to the end consumer definitely comes down, especially for a product category where I am in. And the protection of the country's immigrant policy, followed by many other countries, which is happening in many other countries where we are predominantly present, makes us think very loud that vocal for local is getting its aggression, and therefore we always believe on grassroots. So we always take a major chunk of our business which comes from the Indian business, and a reasonable portion is always comes from the international, because we are bound to cater to the Indians who go to the international soil. We take that responsibility. They need our traditional sambar or your pudis and all those stuff. So it's all holistically driven. It's a product mix again per se. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think the focus on being in India, of what you said in your category, or what Ram alluded to earlier, the opportunity which exists in India, and the government's plan of Viksit Bharat. I think it's fantastic. A forum like this or any other forum in the recent past is not complete without asking the favorite two-letter question, AI. So I'm going to ask a couple of questions around AI, and I can see a lot of smiles happening. So in no particular order, can I ask Mr. Balamurali, for your business, what's your take on embedding AI and automation into operations to create efficiencies across shipping and logistics? Where is it proving most transformative today? Because when we see media, there's so many use cases coming beyond just creating some beautiful ads. And there are a lot of cases which are not even published, and AI is having really big impact in particularly your industry, even in healthcare and many other sectors. So it'll be great to learn from that.
So AI is a great development. It's a big enabler for the business. So to draw parallels with our industry, we are not just into shipping and logistics, but we have also recently ventured into the food ecosystem. So what we are trying to create is something called a farm-to-fork approach, where we ethically procure the food produce from the farmers, logistically bring it to our food processing unit. Right now it's in India. We are also planning other locations, and then export it all over the world. That is a mid-mile. Then we also do the last mile in different countries and different locations. So across this chain from farm to fork, from B2B and B2C, technology is an integral part, because physically it's impossible otherwise, because you have got different players. You know, you have got the procurement agents, the farmers, the customers, the distributors. So in terms of starting from the predictive analysis for the crop and the soil health, to the route optimization for logistics, and on the food processing plant that we have got the best of the technology, and then again logistically bringing it to the end customer. Amongst all this, there is also a strong AI platform that is being built on the internal processes. So what happens is internally optimizing on the efficiencies, and also very, very important is also giving the analytics and the dashboards to the customers, which will enable them take better decisions. So logistically speaking, for example, we have a lot of electronic brands as our customers. So in terms of giving them the analytics on which are the brands that have moved in the last 1 year, because we do the storage and distribution, what has been the demand pattern, the seasonal trends for food products. So these are the kind of things, I think, with AI coming in, we don't have to physically go sit there and do it, but the system actually throws up all these information. So this is one big USP for us, not just for our company, but for the entire industry.
Fascinating. I think that your narrative itself probably deserves a couple of hours for everyone to learn. And I know time is short, but just take one thread on supply chain. And I'm going to ask Mr. Nambisen this question. How is your company leveraging the technology and AI without losing authenticity? Because there are lots being spoken about AI's potential darker effects and many use cases around it. How is AI being used in your supply chain? And for a business which is rooted so much in trust and tradition, how do you ensure tech doesn't erode the emotional connect, particularly with the rural part of India, and legacy consumers feel that they are with your brand?
Okay, Karthik, so we've been a 94-year-old brand, right? And generally ghee is made in 4 hours. We make it in 4 days, right? So we still continue amongst the whole rush of the whole thing. You know, we still continue to, make the ghee in 4 days. Our tagline is slow goodness naturally. So when everything is moving fast, we still want to embrace slowness. Coming to answer your question in terms of supply chain, in our quest to grow in terms of depth regionally, right? There is more reason that our supply chain also needs to be strengthened to support that growth. Now, honestly, coming from the slow background and trying to adapt into this, we are still learning, right? In terms of how AI can be good in supply chain. I'm sure that I'm going to connect with Bala post the session. We've already met earlier to see how effectively experts can help us. But at the same time, one thing which I'm very clear is I would like to use AI in my basic processes and systems. I'd like to keep it basic at the moment to ensure that, our basic formulations doesn't change. And then take the help of experts coming in so that, and then slowly make that change one by one. I think I would prefer to test the markets that way.
Wonderful. I think test and learn, great partners here. My question now is to Mr. Srikanth. How are you using AI and tech to modernize distribution without, losing touch with small retailers in tier 2, tier 3 towns of India?
A small portion of the question got already answered by Mr. Nambisen. Actually, where we need a transformation in terms of the digital adaptability, we decided that it has to be outsourced and it has to be done with a real-time professional. And there you came professionals like Fourth Dimension, where, when you sign up with people like a professional who handle it day in, day out on a real time, learning with the team, engaging themselves in terms of taking it forward. We completely outsource the digital part of it. And the most important part over here, which I can tell to any family business owner, is to sign up with somebody who understands the value of your grassroots, who understands your market, and who understand your product. So your product, your value systems, and the consumers and the market, all these four, if they four forms the straight line, the digital part has to be interspersed. It's not alone AI. It's all kind of the digital implementation interspersed will definitely take you through to reach to the correct level. You know, the desired level has to be earmarked, and you as an owner of the brand, you only know, what a consumer needs and what are the fundamentals. At the end of the day, we are Indians, so we are basically catering to 90% of the market where our product is in tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. So obviously, you are engaging with a customer who are also getting digitally required. So that is where signing up with the right partner makes all the difference, and we did that as well.
Okay, thank you. Last question to Ganesh. I think from an AI perspective, actually from the outside world, massive impact actually happening in your sector. And for those of you, I'm sure many of you might have applied to the, again, not a plug, don't get paid for it, Geo BlackRock Flexi Cap, which is supposed to be a human plus AI based fund system. How is AI creating the most impact for you as a business, and is it helping improve reliability and, more importantly, transparency?
Yeah, see, for us, I think from a financial services or mutual fund point of view, AI, it's a kind of blessing and a curse also, right? Because a lot of people are trying the robotic advisory, right, where there is AI comes in picture. But all they use the data, but it's not only data which is going to help you. There is some kind of human emotion need to be there. So the robo advisory has not really gone up to the extent people have invested in or pursued for. So we still feel that human interaction and investment is always better. You have an advisor coming in and telling you what it is, more than a robotics. But like what Sarah told us, from a data point of view, giving dashboards, telling the customers where to invest. And in case if there is a, so imagine he has invested in, say, in one flexi cap, it's not doing well. So how to kind of switch it. So some of those data-based decisions, AI can be little faster and give that. But AI cannot, at least as of now, I think this is also evolving. A lot of people are even, my board was telling me, Ganesh, you should learn AI. So I said, so let's evolve over the period of time. We'll see how the AI is going to be. But in the financial industry, I think it will take a little more time for us because AI can also mislead a lot of things. End of the day, it's an emotion. If I want to save for my daughter's marriage, then it's a different emotion. I don't think the AI or robotics can even tell me that invest. Right? So we want to wait and watch, but I think long way to go for us.
So I think on the AI part, I think it's fascinating. We can spend days, hours, but I want the key takeout is collaboration. Don't do it yourself. Test and learn. And there is a human element going to be. I'm conscious of the time. We have maybe 5 minutes left. So I'm going to change gear very quickly and ask a more serious question, one on the exciting part AI, to coming back to something fundamental to all of us, values. So let's ask a couple of questions on values. Let's start with Mr. Nambisen. How are you keeping family values alive while professionalizing the business and attracting top talent?
Okay, so I mean, I think the future is, so we've been at the helm of the business for the last 93 years, and we will continue to be that, is what I vision. But then, professionalizing business is a natural progression, right? I think the one factor that we need to be very aware when you get into that space is to let go. You should be in a position to let go. Let go doesn't mean let go of the family values. But then keeping the family values intact, you ensure that the family values are driven right inside the organization, and the person comes with, he can make him adapt to our family values, but at the same time, you should be ready to let go of your, you've been doing this all around, your dad's been doing it, your grandfather's been doing it, your children might do it, might not do it. But then when you professionalize, you need to ensure that, we need to let go of our thoughts because we need to bring in his ability into our organization. That's the essence of professionalizing the whole thing, right? So I think that's a very tricky question, but I think the attitude of letting go might help in actually understanding the person better.
Thank you so much. My next question is to Mr. Balamurli. How are you strengthening workplace culture and resilience with diverse geographies and workforce mindsets?
So, see, basically, organization is not a legal entity. It's a sum of collective consciousness of people. So, though, we have been speaking about different generations, from the people who were into the workforce from the 80s to 90s to the generations of today, there is a lot of talk about technology and AI, but the human element is more important. So, we still believe in Transworld that your workplace is a temple. When your workplace is a temple, your work becomes worship. So there is a common DNA that we try to imbibe. So we have something called a higher purpose for the organization. And this is not something which is just put up in the notice boards, but we encourage every person to live, which is delivering prosperity for humanity. So while we work for profits, the higher purpose is these profits, apart from our own benefit, also becomes a medium to bring about a positive change in the society. And not just the employees, but we also encourage the families of the employees, the spouses, the children, to come forth and do that. So when there is a higher purpose, there is a sublimity which comes in the work that is performed, and it gets reflected in your deliverables to the customers, to the internal stakeholders. So we still believe we are still rooted in ethics, values, and a strong culture farming.
Thank you so much. My question is to now Mr. Srikanth. In a family-owned food business, how do you retain talent and create a strong culture that blends heritage with modernity?
Somehow for us, it's becoming very easy because our company has a very low attrition. So, three things according to me. Number one, make the whole stuff really interesting without being monotonous. Launch more products, launch more geography, give them always some things to do so that it makes them engaged with your brand, with your company, with your product. And the second thing, what I focus is make sure I give them a lot of money. Make them, they are sufficiently paid and taken care of in line with the industrial standards and taking up.
You should come and talk to my boss soon.
And the third thing is give them empowerment, which normally everybody says, which normally in our company we do. And that's why it makes life easy for us. We have a very thin tire management. There's no too many tires in our company, and we have a thin management system. And this lean management system helps the empowerment to each and every individual, which gets that retained. We have people who are there for years together. But now the real challenge comes with the next generation which is coming in. We get ourselves aligned. We learn from the Gen Zs, and the working styles are absolutely different, and it's very interesting for us. And it makes us really young and keeping it active. So these are the 3 points which makes it.
Thank you so much. Mr. Ganesh, with a compliance-heavy business as yours, which is often seen as very transactional, how do you build culture, purpose, and how do you really motivate your team?
No, I think in financial services, there's a lot of these apps and platforms and all who are not in compliance. Basically, if you put your PAN number, then every detail, including a bank account number, comes in. But nobody asks the question where it comes from, whether I have given authorization to fetch everything. But today's generation, as Sarah told, it's quite very, my son says, Pa, I just want to put my thumbprint, everything should happen. I say, it doesn't work that way in mutual fund. Okay, so there is some compliance we need to follow. For us, I think, as we are part of the mutual fund industry platform, the culture itself is compliance. So, for example, our app doesn't ask any permission to read the OTP or contacts. We don't take any data. I think data plays a huge role. Once the DPDP Act, I think Mr. Minister has told it's going to come from 1st October. I think that's going to be a huge wave in India. Once we need to start looking at how we are using the data. But the new generation, I think they should be very, very wary of this. They are very happy with the things that data is there in every place. So compliance plays a huge part, particularly in our space, where money, we handle not only the emotion of people, but also their money. So compliance become a core product. So that's a culture.
So thank you. I think a leadership session need not be very serious. I think we have touched upon multiple topics of, from volatility, how you run your business, to values, to AI, quite a lot in a short period of time. But I just want to kind of end the session on a little lighter note so that everyone is energized. Imagine if, and just one word answer please, so that we can finish on time. Imagine if you are owner of a cricket team. What role do you own that and you have a role to play? Just one word, each one of you, what role would that be? Just as an example, is it all-rounder or any other thing that you think of? In any order you can start.
So obviously, from my end, obviously a wicketkeeper captain. A wicketkeeper captain.
Wonderful.
You know whom I'm talking about.
Okay.
A guy who made the Indian cricket a real respect. Okay. Where I have seen where we look upon our Indian cricket team as a, how we look upon. And now after the transformation happened from the leadership point, you play good, you play normal, but that you lead it. So end of the day, it's leadership session again, even with cricket. So it's a captain with a cool
BCCI, please note, there's a wicketkeeper captain in waiting. Sir, up to you.
I would be a captain where every team member is a captain.
Okay, wonderful.
It's a captain because if you look at the transformation, and it's very apt because yesterday India has won the Asia Cup. I think every leader after Ganguly and all, I think they give importance to the team and they choose the team according to their strengths. I think that's a more important part about leadership. So it become a captain cool is always better.
Okay, sir, go ahead.
Karthik, I just wanted to answer that differently, if you may allow me to do so. I would prefer to be the all-rounder, the question that you would ask, but more often it just doesn't happen that way because at some, when you're embracing leadership, right, the team might make mistakes. At that point, you need to embrace that you need to be a captain cool at that point of time to handle it. And there are some areas where, when that's happening, things might not work the way you want to, and you might need to get involved. So you might need to step in. When you step in, you must show your aggressive foot at that point of time. You have to be aggressive at that point of time. And then once you start being aggressive, and then the whole plate suddenly just turns to your table, and then you are left to finish it. And then you must be a great finisher to do that. I think as an entrepreneur, we have to juggle between all these roles. That's what I think that we need to be doing. Thank you.
Fabulous answer from all of you. I think very inspiring. So on that note, thank you very much. I'm conscious of time. I don't want to just keep it to the point. And a big thank you to all the panelists for sharing their wonderful lessons and insights. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Thank you. They deserve a bigger round of applause because how beautifully did you cover AI to higher purpose. I don't know how you did it, but you covered it. Now, here's what we are going to do. So, how to live a wholesome life. We have a book that is going to tell you all about that and invite Geeta ma'am onto the stage to distribute this wonderful book of wealth to all of them, to our wonderful speakers and moderators. I also request Mr. John Nair, Chief Operating Officer Trinity, and Princey Roy from Huela Services to please join us here near the stage. Can you pose with the book? We can take a quick photo. Yeah. Step forward. We have Mr. John and Princey joining us onto the stage to honor our fabulous moderator and fabulous panelists. Mr. Ganesh, I must say, this is the first time someone has said Gen Z style of work is interesting. It's usually never that way.